What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of G4 Mobile Suit Gundam GQuuuuuuX. This is episode 5. With me, as always, I have Blue Spade.
Yeah. Picking up after the last episode, Machu is still. I guess she's still coming to terms about what happened after that last battle, considering that she initially thought that this is just you know, like a simple game in which it's just winners and losers, but not a simple like fight to the death sort of thing. So she has this
Hmm.
conversation, I think, with one of the, I think, one of the members of the Pomeranians, which is of course the name of the team of clan battle that she's participating with. She couldn't fight with her about what happened, and then of course, you know, it convinces her, to keep going with the whole clan battle thing in order for her and what was it? In order for her and Shuji to make enough money to take a trip to Earth.
Yeah. So we actually started the episode with I think it's I could be mistaken, but it looks like I think there are two of members of the Black TriStar from the original series, but I forget. I guess the third member must have died. Um, but yeah, in the original series, that I mean, they all got killed. So, I guess of course in this alternate timeline, at least two of them are alive. I guess. And then there's also a brief reference to Makuve. So obviously, I guess he's also still alive. But we're not exactly sure. I guess I guess obviously he has some involvement in the New Zeon government or something. But
Mhm.
uh, yeah. But yeah, of course, after that, like, um, that both Machu and Neon go to meet up with Shuji, and well, they can't find him at first, but then he shows up again, and it there's a lot of kind of ridiculous sort of fan servicey scenes in this episode. Like the beginning was just like Machu, I guess, sunbathing on a roof, and then in this scene, like Machu and Yan are just. I guess the excuse is that they're trying to like because Shuji just says like, oh, it's cool like lying on top of the Gundam. It's a way to cool off or something. So like both Machu and Yan like strip down to their underwear
Yeah,
and start to just lie on top of the Gundam.
I didn't
Um,
I didn't see what was the point of doing something
yeah,
like that.
yeah,
Um,
I don't know. Like I don't know if they're trying to imply that there's some kind of like weird love triangle with Nyan, Machu, and Shuji, because obviously like we know there's been like implications of Machu having kind of like a crush on Shuji, but uh I don't know. Like I feel like maybe they're trying to do something like that, but it's hard to say. I mean, well, especially with the way this episode ended, maybe that is where they're going with it because of what ends up happening with Neon.
yeah. Eventually, the what was it? Neon and Machu eventually start heading their way to the next clan battle, but unfortunately, I think they both get stopped by several police officers asking for Neon's identification, basically just accusing her for of being on Site 6 illegally.
Yeah. And basically, like, I think it was what was it Neon or Machu? Like,
Well,
I think Machu like
Machi just kicks the guys in the kicks one of the officers in the nuts, and then they end up
yeah
making a run for it. And Machu's about to get caught by the police officers before one of the Xeon officers who was originally piloting the Gundam GQuuuuuX at the beginning of the series ends up saving her, and then they hide in the locker. But
I feel like this scene could have been an opportunity for them to like for some interesting developments with these two characters, considering he's kind of been looking for her this whole time. But I guess he's not really sure if it really is her that he's after. Because like the whole time the clan battle is happening, they're just like stuck in this locker.
I mean,
Um,
he literally saw her get into the Gundam that he was piloting. So I
yeah,
mean, I wouldn't see any other reason why he can't recognize her as of right now. I mean, he tries asking her if she knows like what Gundam uh this is and whether or not she pilots it. But then by the time like what happens is because Machu is like too busy trying to get away from the cops. Neon's worried that the team's going to end up forfeiting their next match. So she takes it upon herself to pilot the Gundam GQuuuuuX alongside Shuji.
Yeah. So I kind of knew where this is going because there's been just a very heavy reliance on just new type abilities in the series so far, and not so much just someone actually being able to pilot a Gundam without solely relying on new type, the new type magic. And that's kind of what ends up happening in this scene, of course. Neon is trying to figure out like the controls, but she doesn't really know what anything does. And the Saikamu system ends up taking over and more or less like doing everything for her. Because that's essentially what it does anyway. But her opponents, I think, are the two members of the Black TriStar. And she has like Shuji backing her up. But a lot of the
what happened to Shuji? Like, for whatever reason, he ends up catching a cold by the time this fight starts. So he just most of this fight he's just like he's debilitated by by a cold for this entire fight. But then he manages to hold his own by the end of it too, which is kind of funny. But
essentially, I mean, essentially they end up winning just pretty much because new type shenanigans. But during the fight, Neon also is able to see the Kira, which this is something else that's just hasn't really been explained yet, and I feel like it's just almost like in a way, almost like some kind of a Deus Ex Machina device, because we don't really even know what it is and what it does. But somehow it helps Neon with her new type of, with I guess her new type abilities like end up winning or getting the edge in the fight. And she seems to now be, I guess, taking interest in the Kira. I guess she did before too, but now she I guess she really wants to know maybe what it is.
Yeah. And well, of course, thanks to the new type, it just pretty much completely changes her personality to, being scared to being completely bloodthirsty out of nowhere, and then just immediately just kills. She just uses every weapon to her advantage, including taking the Red Gundam's beam saber and just basically just cleaving both members of the Black TriStars and killing them both.
Yeah, and of course, as we know from the last episode, that Machu was kind of she didn't really think that she would have to, I guess that she would have to kill people, or so I wonder if this is something that's going to, when she finds out about what Neon did, she's also going to have a lot more I guess conflicted feelings about what she's doing with the clan battle stuff.
Yeah.
But right as the clan battle ends, of course, Machu ends up getting away from that one pilot who she was stuck in the locker with, and of course, conveniently, the police, I guess, are no longer milling around the lockers looking for her. So she's able to get away. But the pilot doesn't really chase after her. I guess he's still suspicious of her, but yeah, she ends up getting away. And of course she just conveniently comes across, well, I guess because she is heading out to the clan battle headquarters, but she ends up coming across Machu, or not Machu, but Neon piloting the GQuuuuuX, and because she didn't know who was the one who, or she didn't really even know what happened, but Machu or Neon, of course, filled in for her. But she's of course very upset about this, because I guess she assumed she was the only one that could pilot the GQuuuuuX, but I guess that Neon is able to as well, which is kind of surprising, because as far as we know, at least with the Gundam lore with new types, at least with certain Gundams, I guess it really depends, but there are some Gundams that are just mainly just made for certain new types to actually pilot them or to take control of the Saikamu systems. I could be wrong about that, but from what I understand, that's kind of how it is. So I guess they're saying that both Neon and Machu can pilot the GQuuuuuX. But a lot of the GQuuuuuX just pretty much reminds me of just the Unicorn Gundam and how it works. Because the Saikamu system just completely takes over, and more or less does everything for the pilot.
Yeah.
So it's not really about like just raw piloting skill. It's just
Yeah.
the Saikamu does
I
everything,
feel I
which
feel
is
like
basically what happens with the Unicorn.
yeah, I feel like the whole new type stuff is just being an incredibly convenient plot device for for most of our main
Yeah,
characters.
I really don't like that about the series so far. To be honest, it feels like there's just way too much of an over reliance on like new type, basically just new type magic and not actual skill. I feel like the fights would be a lot more interesting if it was more so just reliant on the pilot's skill rather than new type abilities, because new type abilities are in a way almost like a get out of jail free card if you think about it. Because if you're struggling in a fight, you can just use your telepathic
Yeah,
abilities
they
to
literally
get the edge.
they literally keep using new type in every single clan battle. Uh, in pretty much in every single episode that they get themselves into, and not through just like because Machu, she's never piloted the Gundam before, but thanks to new type, she was able to win her first clan battle, and then I think what was it Shuji during his battle with the witch was able to beat her, and now with
Yeah.
Nyan with her obvious inexperience from with piloting a Gundam, was immediately to easily cleave through like both remaining members of the Black Tri-Stars and just get through it like
It,
almost
it's
like
it's just a yeah, like it's just a lot to take in, just considering, like, if you think about the original series with Amuro, like, it makes sense that Amuro was able to efficiently pilot the Gundam, given he was really already, before he even piloted the Gundam, was really interested in like tech and mechanics and all that kind of stuff. So he already kind of had some familiarity with how the Gundam might work. And he was just kind of thrown into the middle of things, and he had to kind of learn the hard way how to pilot the Gundam. And the new type stuff doesn't really happen until like the latter half of the series, and it feels a lot more earned in the original series because Amuro had to just solely rely on his own skill to try to get through a lot of tough situations. And even then, he didn't really get through it on his own. He had a lot of help. So, I like that a lot better about, the original series. Whereas here, it just feels like Machu, like, as far as I know, like, she's never really piloted a Gundam or anything like that until like the beginning of the series, where she's just kind of thrown into, piloting a Gundam, and just all of a sudden, just right out the gate, knows what she's doing. And just is very much just reliant on her new type abilities
yeah.
to win fights.
I mean, Shuji is a little bit more believable just due to the fact that, I mean, we don't know like how long he's had that red Gundam in his possession.
Yeah.
Ever since Char disappeared. But it's I mean, it's more believable with Shuji, being able to use a new type and piloting that Gundam. But for Machu and Neon, they just barely just started piloting, and they immediately just know how to do this stuff like right off the bat.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was an okay episode. It feels like, just based on I guess the next episode preview, things are finally, I guess, starting to happen in the plot with Cassilia coming into the picture. Although I'm not exactly sure like what kind of role she's going to play in this series. Apparently, like, I guess there is someone trying to assassinate her, so that's kind of interesting. But I'm more interested in that than these, like, honestly, than some of these clan battle episodes, which this episode was just another clan battle. I mean, although there were some interesting things to happen, like with Neon.
Yeah.
But aside from that, like, yeah, there's not really much else that's that interesting about it. I guess the Black Tri-Star shows up just to, of course, immediately get killed off.
Yeah,
So,
I mean they're already dead now. But yeah, the whole with Cassilia, who's a major character from the original Gundam series, like that's gonna be interesting for next week. Which and
yeah.
I mean we don't know like why she's gonna be there, but I mean I hope it has something to do with more. But I mean I think it's just more to do with like I don't know, with Charlie Ebola being there as well.
And that just kind of makes me question what's happening with the rest of the zombie family as well, because I mean, as far as we know, like, a few of them at least are still alive. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't really have much else to say about the episode. It's not bad, but I just feel like I have somewhat mixed feelings about the series so far. I'm still like waiting to see where exactly Ano is taking the plot, because I really have no idea like where this is going with so far. Um,
I,
but I don't know. I guess I'm along for the ride. I guess we'll see like what
yeah,
his
I mean, I
plans
mean,
are.
I, I mean, I'm pretty sure Ano had some time to to watch the original series and understand certain aspects of
Yeah,
of certain elements like the whole new type stuff. But feel like much. I did feel like they kind of. I can't really say they botched it, but it's yeah. I mean, it's just like they're
I
kind
think
of
I
going at it
think the
in a
beginning
weird.
where they actually do like a reimagining of the original series was actually so far the best part of it. Um,
Yeah.
the new stuff just, I don't know, it feels, I feel like my biggest issue is it feels fairly derivative, because I think the issue is that this series is coming like pretty much right after Witch from Mercury, which pretty much did the same thing with the plot, in terms of like the whole Gundam tournament thing, or just Gundams fighting each other in tournament battles. And I mean, we have had that before with G Fighter. I mean, we haven't had like a lot of Gundam series that do this. I guess G Fighter. I guess you could count maybe Build Fighters as well. But this is just like another one of those.
Yeah.
Just I guess set in the Universal
I
Century.
mean, I would have to imagine that the whole clan battle thing isn't going to be the whole main, you know, s- you know, driver of the story. Like it has
Yeah, that's
to.
kind of like, I hope not. I mean, Witch from Mercury, that wasn't the case either, but it did take a while for other things to happen where it wasn't just about the tournaments.
Yeah, I mean, it has to, follow up on with what happened after, the alternate version of the 1 Year War in which Xeon won over the Earth Federation. So I would have
Hmm.
to imagine that, with Cassilia coming into the story now, that they would have to bring back like the whole, I guess the whole feud between the Earth Federation and Xeon eventually, or like do something with the plot. Like maybe Machu and the others might like have a showdown against Xeon, or whatever it is. Like or you know,
Yeah.
they're gonna have some involvement with Xeon down the
Well,
road.
yeah, like the issue is that there just hasn't been much world building in terms of like what exactly is going on post 1 Year War in terms of Xeon being in
Yeah,
control.
I mean,
Like
I mean,
what's going on with the state of the Earth Federation. Like there's so much we don't know about it.
yeah,
And I mean, maybe that's intentional. Like maybe Ano is just waiting to reveal all that.
yeah.
Um,
We only get like small hints of like how much how much of like I guess you could say Side 6 is opposed to Xeon like being there. You could see people like several protesters like not happy with members of Xeon just I guess occupying the place for the time being.
yeah. But yeah, I don't have much else to say about the episode though. I don't know if you have anything
Yeah.
else to say about it.
I mean I guess you could say some character development in terms of like with the main three characters is starting to get somewhere, but it's just in terms of the whole new type stuff, it's just it kind of goes overboard to a certain point. Um, but yeah, I am hopefully looking forward to maybe some more plot developments, not with Cassilia being in the next episode.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess we'll see what happens. But yeah, guys, that all being said, until next time, we will see you all later.